Hey, welcome back to the table. It's a new day here in freezing Minnesota. It's very cold outside. So I'm glad I picked a game that's taking absolutely forever to play. I'm going to keep going. I was going to make an errata video, but I think that the mistakes I've made in this game, I do think I've corrected a few, but then I was having a hard time remembering what they were because everything's just so mushed together with how long this game's been so far. But we're in the morning phase of turn 13, which is only 13 out of 64. And I think I'm already at like 18 hours of video, and we're taking an hour a turn. So this is going to be a long series. Unless, of course, I lose. I am quite exhausted, I will confess. So, but let's keep going. Okay, first thing that we do in the morning is we get one naval and one air support. So that we get every morning. And then the next thing we have to do is we have to look at our reserves. So, units that aren't in a reserve can get one step. So we can do that now, and we will. We get one free tank pip for every 2 in the pool, and there's none in the pool, but we get one engineer pip for every 3 in the pool, and we actually have 4. So we do get an engineer pip back, so I'm gonna give ourselves an engineer point. Then in the reserve pool, there's no limit to replacements, but there's nobody hurt in the reserve pool. If we have a full battalion, we get a point. We have 3 full battalions, and those 3 full battalions are part of a regiment, so we get 4 total points. And it's the division that gets the points. So the 3rd division is going to get 4 more points. 1, 2, 3, 4, so it's up to 64. So I'm sort of like banking points with a division that hasn't seen a single speck of battle yet. So that's the idea. Now, I got to go through and do the arduous task here. This one is a 2-step unit, which I'm realizing I could have put in a reserve because he's no longer in the field of fire. But we're going to take one of these catastrophic failure or losses back and then flip him back to just having 1 loss. So that's no worries there. And I'm just looking through, and I'm going to do the thing I usually do in this situation. I'm reserving the right that when I find a injured unit, I'm just going to fix him, if you don't mind. So that might save us some time here of me checking every single spot. I do know there's one up here, and this is the 5th division. So there's one for the 4th and one for the 5th so far. And we do have to be concerned because the 5th division is down to 28 and the 4th is down to 37. And I know there's more. I just don't remember where they're at. So, here's a big stack here. We definitely want to repair these guys. So here's 1. This is an HQ unit for 2, and then an engineer. So I'm flipping all those over. And so 4th division is 2, and the engineer, we lost that free point we just got, but that's okay. There is probably a few more. I know I keep saying this and then I keep going back and looking at more. Here's one here. There's one there. And this one is our other catastrophic loss. So we can at least repair him. So that was 3 more for the 4th division. And the 4th division is down to 32 now. So over here, I know I have a few. I don't think this pile has any. This pile has 1. 2, 3, 4, 5, that's a lot. And I think there was one over here that had 6. So that's 6 more. Once we take Mount Suribachi, the 5th Division is going to get quite a break. I think we're going to have to put them in the reserves and let them heal up and get points back. So you know how we get a point back for every battalion, full battalion? I think we're going to put the entire 5th Division in there and just get a whole bunch of points back. So this is 7. So that puts us down to 21 for the 5th Division that's left. If we get below, I think it's 3 or 4. I mean, it's a really low number. But if it gets super low, then it's to the point where you can no longer heal up to 4 pips. 3 pips is the highest you can go. It's in the rule book. I'm not looking it up. Just making sure those of you who are watching understand that there is a rule around that. It's just that we're not, you know, triggering that or anywhere close to triggering it yet. But we could someday. Okay, so we have a nice big stack here, which would be nice to get him involved in some close combat. All right, I did ask some questions on Board Game Geek, and it's really funny because they've been there for more than 24 hours and nobody's answered them yet. I'm not used to that. I'm used to somebody answering them, especially when the designer was answering, like he answered a few but didn't answer them all. So it's an interesting thing. Not that I blame him, because I'm sure he's busy, and his support has been excellent. But there's a few questions. The first one is this new Rejuvenation Rule. So if I go into this, obviously I draw a card, and I could get ambushed, right? What happens if, for example, I do just a regular battle with them, like do a normal attack, and I eliminate them? And then I move in. Do I have to then do a Rejuvenation Rule? It just seems really silly. And I guess thematically it could represent, hey, we just had a firefight and we won, and now we're moving into the fortress or position or whatever, and then they're sitting there waiting in ambush for us. And I guess, you know, from what I understand of World War II, Japan did stuff like that, where they made us think that we won, but they really didn't. And I don't know. I mean, I'm not saying it's not thematic. It's just, it is painful. For us. We'll just leave it at that. I mean, it is painful, but okay. Let's go. I think we're done with the morning phase. Oh, one more morning phase activity right here. So let's shuffle these up. And I'm going to put this over here. We're going to eliminate 1, and 1 goes back in the pool. Eliminate 1, eliminate 1, eliminate 1, eliminate 1, and that one stays. Okay, so, and then I'm going to put these depth markers. By the way, they are all going into Sector 3, per the rules. So even if these were depth markers that were originally in Sector 1 or Sector 2, they now go to Sector 3. So Sector 3 is like getting all the reinforcements. Okay, I think we're ready to play. So let's do the HQ phase. We are now at range 5, and then range 3 and range 2. So the garrisons, by the way, were supposed to go on before we increased our range, according to the rule order. So that is important. If I'm increasing the range right away because that's what I do, but just so you know, technically, we're not range 5 for purposes of garrisons, but I don't think it matters. I've not taken anything that I can garrison at this point. I do think I might pack up this HQ and move it again, but I don't have to do that until the action phase, so no worries there. I think we're good to go for the HQ phase. This is where we can assign all of those units in the reserve. We put them in, I think, in the evening when they landed. And so they're not eligible until evening to come back into the battle. so we can't do anything with that. Just looking at my notes here. Yeah, that's everything. So now we do our first event. And it says Japanese depth. The depth marker is going to go in the lowest spot that's next to us. So it's probably going to be this one. He's an E4. That's an F. E is lower than F, or more in terms of the tiebreaker. So E will get it before F will get it, and these are G's. So yes, this guy's getting one, and he's in sector 3. So you know what I didn't do between last night and today is I forgot to read up, what do I do about this armor? I mean, the armor depth is there, and actually this is a perfect time to do the armor. We just got a depth event. So rather than putting a depth on a unit, I'm gonna get this armor one out, and we're just gonna put him on a spot that, I have 3 units you can see sitting here in the middle of the water, and they're all tanks. And so I'm gonna put an armor depth nearest to this point. So I'm gonna put it there, and then it gets a tank. Yeah, the tank unit is revealed, by the way. So it's a radio bazooka thing. And this tank will trigger whenever purple actions are called for. So it has its own set of actions that it does. It'll try to fire or advance. And when it advances, it swaps places with infantry. So it'll take over. And that's why I was saying that whenever I draw an armor depth card or token, I was wondering if the armor goes in that spot and then the infantry just gets booted out. And that was what I wanted to confirm in the rule book. But I don't want to teach that to you because I didn't confirm it in the rule book. It makes sense to me because that's similar to what the previous games would sort of do. Although the previous games, the armor was always set up from the very beginning. And so you always knew they were on the map. I am tempted to suggest that we do that as a variant from here on out, because it is really painful to try to randomize when this armor is coming out. But anyways, with that being said, the armor is there, and he will do stuff. That's all we need to know. So now we go to the Japanese fire phase, and we have a gold. Gold is conquered over here. Gold is not conquered over there. But if you look at his intense fire zones, these are both stars, so he doesn't hit anybody. So this guy can't hit us. And there is a gold way up there, but he's disrupted, so we remove his disruption. Okay, next is a blue tank. So this means that blue is going to fire and hit tanks. We do have a blue here. And I need to look at his fire dots. He gets this is a steady fire here, and it's a circle. So let's see if he gets hit. Nope, those are both stars units, so he doesn't hit anybody. He does have some intense fire spots, but we're not in any of them. So nothing happens with that blue. Oh, we got another blue up here, and this one is going to do some damage. He's not disrupted. He will do 2 damage, but these 2 units are immune. And I'm looking at his fire dots, and he here has a steady fire. So if there's a dot there, see, there's no circle. So we just got lucky with that one. There is a circle here, but believe it or not, there's no fire there. He doesn't fire to this spot. So there's some kind of line of sight thing that's preventing that. You tell me what it is. I have no freaking clue. Line of sight to me would tell me that this is a steady fire spot and he would get hit. I don't see any obstruction. But anyways, that's not what the map says. So that's why I prefer the dots on the map. I mean, you figure it out once what these dots are, and they don't change. And if there's some kind of situation where, you know, we took one position group and not the other, then give us some special rules to figure it out for that special case. But otherwise, the dots should be there. Anyways, I complain about that too much. It was funny. I was asked yesterday which Omaha game or which D-Day game do I like the most, and I am a big fan of Omaha Beach, even though it has some weird things in it. Like, for example, what's the point of the anti-aircraft? You know, and there's some of these units that, you know, they're intentional. Like, I'm trying to hit them so I don't hit my other more precious units. So like Omaha Beach would really benefit from like a new version. But I really love Omaha Beach and some of the things that it does. And Tarawa I thought was really nice, but I really hate close combat. So this whole Japanese thing is fine, but the mechanic of close combat where you're just drawing cards like you're playing a game of war, you know, with a 52 card standard deck, I don't really care for that much. So I was always a poo-poo of that. And then in Palelu just seems impossible. They give you not enough units to take anything, and then everything you do is just you get punched in the mouth. I was actually saying I really like this game, and I may like it the most of all of them. But then these missing fire dots make me angry. And I understand the whole line of sight thing, but it still makes me angry. As far as I'm concerned, this game should have fire dots, period, and design around it. The other thing is this Rejuvenation Rule is ugly too. But I love the way artillery is done in this game. I think artillery hurts us, but I think it's a wonderful abstraction. I like the way our artillery works, right? Where we can spend artillery points of our own and just hit anywhere on the map. That's a wonderful, wonderful thing. I think that's an amazing step forward. I think that the replacements and the reinforcements and the reserve and those kind of rules are an amazing step forward. I don't mind the battalion HQs and the regimental HQs and how much they interact. That is also good. So anyways, I'm going to stop. In the process, I did realize we forgot to reset. Our artillery points are back to 0, meaning our artillery, we get full artillery again, is what I'm trying to say. And then our last one is brown. It's a brown R, and I don't know if we have a brown near us. So let's look around. No. This one is within 3 spaces of us. So this one will trigger, and he's going to get a reinforcement, I'm pretty sure. Brown R. The pirates are finding him. R. Okay, so he gets a reserve and a depth marker, but he does not fire. It doesn't matter. He's not going to fire anyways. But brown just filled up. Okay, I think that's it with the... Oh, no, we got to do the black fire. Black is going to shoot at us. This one can't hit us at all, but he can hit circles. There's a hit right there. So we do take a hit. This circle unit right here just took a hit. He's in the steady fire for black. So then we get to this one, he's disrupted. So he can only hit the intense fire zones, and they're only considered to be steady fire. So he will hit a circle. This one is not in his fire zone. So it's either this one or nobody. And of course, I have fat fingers, so. Is there a circle? There is a circle right there. And another circle there. And yes, he does hit 2 units, so we take 2 hits there. That hurts. The engineer loses a step, and then we lose a step. He is revealed, so we don't get disrupted. So that's the good part. And that's it for that one. And now we go over to this one, and it's a similar deal. I immediately see a circle here, and yes, he is firing. He's disrupted, so he's only firing in the solid zones, and this is a solid. If you notice, there's a circle there, there's a circle there, but he hits the circle that's closest, we have circles in a lot of places. This blue circle for sure is taking the hit. And he can hit at most 3, because they said that you don't count the extra forts. So the depth marker himself and the fort counts as 3 hits. So we are going to apply 3 hits here. And I think this one is another candidate. And the 5th Division just continues to get pounded. And then these guys here, it's an eeny, meeny, miny, mo. I'll get the one in the back. They're both the same distance away. And so that's, and of course he's revealed, so there's no disruption on us. These black positions are definitely tough. Okay, so now we reveal our event, and we are on February 22nd. So it's another smoke event. I'm not sure what that does for us, because I think it goes away before next turn. So I'm not going to bother doing the smoke event. It doesn't hurt us. It hurts them, but they've already attacked. So I hope that makes sense. So we can just skip the event and keep going. Unless somehow that event persists until next turn, which that would be awesome, but I don't think it does. Okay, so now we go to the US attack phase. We have so much to do. So I am a little bit excited here. First thing I'm going to do is remove this disruption that we always do. And we're going to move this guy, 1, 2, 3, get him into the action. And so we have a lot going on up north. We have another black zone over here to deal with. And then we have this black zone. So I tend to like to go right to left. So let's start here and solve this puzzle. We have this whole stack is disrupted, and so they cannot act, but we were able to finally undisrupt them. My plan is this unit was going to close combat that one, and I'm going to execute that plan with all due haste. We're going in. This guy can go start helping, with various things, but let's do this first. Let's just resolve it right now. So I'm going to grab this whole stack. Now, we could have done barrages. Should I have done a barrage? Let me think about this. Yes, let's do a barrage. I have some tank units that can barrage. We're not going to use artillery or anything, I don't think, but we will use tank units. So, for example, there's 2 tanks here with a triangle. So that's a 6 strength barrage. Let's try it. And I'm going to flip this over to the barrage side. The gold is a hit, and then the triangle is a hit. So we had a perfect hit. It's a 6 strength, perfect hit. Everything basically is disrupted and destroyed. He loses a depth marker if he has one. He doesn't. And then his fortress can possibly take a hit. So we get a red, and it matches the red, and we destroy the fortress. And that is awesome sauce. So his fortress is actually gone. Now we can just kill the unit by flanking him and browning. So I actually don't need to do close combat. That was the reason why I stepped back and said, hey, maybe I should... So we're just going to attack him straight up with this, and then this unit will support. And in doing so, this guy is destroyed. So that is an F, or a black position down. That was quite the battle. Okay, so the black fire zone here is finally shut off. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to, I want to move in there, but I got to worry about, I'm going to have to disrupt things, right? Because if I move in here to take this, then I'm going to have a stacking limit issue. So that's my problem. So with this being clear now, although orange can shoot here, I am moving up so I can support this attack. I'm moving these guys over. And then this one, just this one unit, I'm going to move here so I don't violate stacking limits, and then move there to take that. Now, it's a black position, so I don't know what the Rejuvenation Rule does for that. So now I got to find this I think it was 31. If you attempt to enter an unoccupied Japanese position with the U.S. unit, and it's in communication with a black PG. That's right. That's the other clarification. He's not in communication, and here's why. He has to trace a path to either this black PG or that one over there, and you can see here that's blocked and that's blocked. So we took it. That was a big accomplishment. My dog thinks I'm calling her. I'm sorry. Okay, so that was a big accomplishment. And this guy was disrupted, so now it's just a matter of moving things around, but we actually have quite a bottleneck here. This guy requires CC to kill. This one was disrupted. I'm going to go ahead and just remove the disruption marker. And I think we're just going to charge with this freshly rejuvenated. Well, there's another repair we needed. Nope. This guy had a double hit. So we're going to go in with this one. Okay, so he gets a card for being Japanese and a card for his CC. And we have 7 steps, so we get 2 cards and then 1 for flamethrower. And so he goes first. It's purple, and he hits and he gets a reinforce, so that means he gets a card and he gets a depth marker. This reinforce is awful. So now he gets a depth marker, so he got stronger in the battle somehow, and we take a hit, and I got to do that, and that means I got to grab a disruption marker. And now we hit him. Nope, we don't. We have a naval artillery blast. So we could get hit on this one. We have a diamond and a triangle. And we drew a circle. Oh, we got lucky. Okay, so he takes a hit, so his depth marker is destroyed. That was pretty sweet. Okay, so that happens. And then we go, and we have a purple. And we finally killed this very stubborn unit that has caused us all kinds of trouble. So that was good luck there. And so yes, these 2 units, this one is disrupted. This one did not take a hit. We finally take this purple position, which now opens the door for us to move through. Now we got this red position here I would like to take out. And I do have this tank and unit that I can move forward. And then I think this one has a tank as well. Yes, they do. We want to keep them together so they can both barrage together. And so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to move them both up 1, like this. And so what we're doing is trying to get in position to barrage this black. There's also this quarry that needs barraging. But right now we're at a bottleneck where we can't move through these units. And then these 2 tanks is definitely moving towards the quarry there. And then we have this situation here where this is all 3rd Division guys. And so our 3rd Division headquarters is here. That is the 3rd Division headquarters. So they can move and get into the fray. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this HW here, and this HQ is going to link up with him, and these 2 HQs are going to stay together as a team and go there. And I might pack this up and move it closer, because now that black has fallen and purple has fallen, we have a whole bunch of area here that we can start to move towards. These 2 command posts are starting to fall behind, but they have a range of 5. So they actually go all the way up to here. And as long as our battalion HQs are in this range, which they are, then they project another range of 3. So we actually have a range of 8 right now. So even though they're behind, If I pack them up and move them, we're going to go back to a range 2 situation, which is actually not ideal. That's a much lower range. So what my plan is I'm going to move the 3rd division up in such a way that he's starting a new circle while these guys are hitting the extent of their circle. So that's the plan. Moving forward, red would be nice to take out. He's also an artillery. Obviously, black is the priority. And we, got stuck because we had to take this purple here. So what I'm going to do is this guy's going to move up towards red. He's not in a black fire zone, but he's clearly in a red kill zone. But there's nothing we can do. We got to get this guy revealed. There is a chance he might get hit. We have an HQ unit here who is also going to... actually, I might move the HQ unit there instead. So I'm looking this, yeah. So this guy's not going to move there. He's instead going to move here into the steady fire zone. Nope. We're going to move him here. He's going into the action. This one is going to go here. I needed to clear room because this guy is an HQ plus. He's Papa and Son. So these two work together better than this one. And so they're going to move into play to take this out. This guy for sure has to attack here. And then these guys have a range attack that can support him. And that's what we're going to do. And then this course, we're going to remove the disrupted marker. And so this is going to be a range. This is going to be an attack of 8 hitting this. This is an attack of 3 for 11. And then I'm going to use 3 4th Division artillery. 1, 2, 3 for, so that's 8, 11, that's 14. So we're going to do a 14 strength attack against this. I don't think it's enough, but it's the best I can do. I guess I could, well, hold on a second. I could attack with these guys. No, they're 3 spaces away. Never mind. So I think I said it was a 14 strength attack. So let's try it. He does have a fortification. So the first thing we do is we reveal that. And we put it here. And you can see that we are not blocked. This one will be blocked. But this one was open. So we're not blocked. It's a class 2. And then we reveal the unit. And it requires mortar and close combat. So we're not going to defeat this guy unless there's close combat. But this is not a hilltop. It's a position. So he doubles this. So this becomes a 4. And a 4 versus a 14, we tripled it. But as you know, we don't meet the weapon requirement. So it's a triple, right? And then we go back 1 to JD. And that means it's disrupted, which is the best we can ask for. So we disrupted the black unit. And we can try to bombard it if I have tanks in the area, but I really don't. I'm trying to get tanks in the area because I moved these guys up. And in fact, after moving these guys, I can move them 1 more. So now they're in range, and I can move this one more. So we now have 2 tanks able to barrage it next turn. Let's move on. Now this black unit is going to be able to still hit, because remember, black shoots even when they're disrupted. So it's just annoying that way. I'm going to remove this disruption marker. So this guy is not able to attack. We are going to close combat with this. So let's get this out of the way right now. And I surely hope I don't have to do rejuvenation. Because if I'm close coming to move here and I move this guy there, I should not have to rejuvenate this again. It just seems like such a silly rule. But that's our situation, is I need to close combat here. And this is our best bet at close combating. The Japanese get 1 for being Japanese and then 1 for the CC. And our steps, I think we're going to get 4. This is 2, plus 4 is 6, plus 4 is 10, plus 3 is 13. So divided by 3, yeah, we're going to get 4 cards. We're getting 5 cards because we have a flamethrower too. So we have our maximum number of cards versus this. And so it is a gold. And of course he gets a gold. So we have to take a hit. And I'm going to, these are the 4th Division. So I guess I will take a step loss. You know what? I'm going to take a hit with the engineer. And then we lose a card. And then we go and we hit him. He's not disrupted. We probably should have disrupted him. That was my fault. So he's now disrupted. And he loses his last card. So that's a good news because he would have hit us. Sorry, I have the camera off. And then we go and we hit him and he's dead. So we did finally defeat him. And he's out of the game because he's not an elite unit. And we move in. So this is the part that's crazy. So we moved from this spot that we controlled to this spot. And now if I move these units here, I think I have to do that weird check. So that's what's weird about this. So yeah, I'm doing the check and sure enough, a unit comes out. So we draw a unit and we have to do close combat with that unit. So he gets 1 for being Japanese. We have 5 steps, so we get a card and then we have a flamethrower. And he actually does an infiltration check. So he hits us for infiltration. So we actually take a step loss to boot. So we're already damaged on top of it. And yes, that means we only get 2 cards. So he goes, he gets an orange, so we take another loss. And we actually have a catastrophic loss now. And see, I mean, this is just ridiculous. This is a spot we owned. And we lose our top card. And then we go and we kill him. So does he have communication? Sure he does. So he goes back in the reserve pool. Very upset. I don't like this at all. And so now we're disrupted. There. So then I was trying to move up to take this red zone. And so we have these 2 units here, but I need a path. Well, this guy's already disrupted, so who cares? We're going to just plow right over them and get to there. So should we move? We probably should move. Nope, we're going to do here because this is a bluff. These units, we need to kill him, but he needs close combat unless we can figure out a way to get rid of that depth marker. So I don't think we can. So I'm going to do a normal attack. I think if we do, we might be able to destroy this depth marker outright. So this is 9 plus 3 is 12 plus 4 is 16 versus 2 plus 2. And let me just sit here and do the math. 16 versus 4 is 4 to 1. So we're at a 3 to 1. We don't meet the weapons requirement, so we're at 2 to 1. And if we go here to JDX, you can see that the depth marker gets eliminated just from a normal attack. So we are able to get rid of the depth marker without having to do close combat, which I do think that is a pretty cool part of this game. So we at least reduced him. He's not disrupted though. So that's a big issue. And we have no way of disrupting him now because we can't barrage him. That's per the rules. And I'm going to go ahead and move this guy up to get in his business. And then these guys will move up. See now, if I move this up and then move this over, did this guy have a range of 3? This is the 26th. He does not. I mean, he has a 3 now, but he didn't at the start of the turn. So that's, I think, the purpose of garrisons, is that it allows you to finally move off safely. So we're just going to move everybody who's not guarding a position up as best as we can. And we have these 2 guys at the airport that we're sort of leaving there because we need to use them to absorb artillery. I will move them up because they'll still get hit. And then we have this, and I need to take a quick break. And I will be back in a few minutes, and we will take care of this. Thanks for watching. Stay awesome.